Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
You with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I'm in.
Or just won't let it go.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, March 26th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. And I'm here with Tori, Bo, Brandon, and I am Sam. Let's get started. We have big breaking news in the Jussie Smollett case just in. We are live. All the charges have been dropped in the case against the Empire actor, and his record has been wiped clean. He was facing 16 felony counts of lying to police for allegedly staging a hate crime attack. Jussie and his lawyer made an emergency court appearance this morning, and prosecutors in Chicago dropped the charges in return for Jussie forfeiting his $10,000 bond and agreeing to perform community service. Jussie just finished speaking to reporters. Here's some of what he said.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
Wow. I mean, all of our jaws are on the floor. We got to pick them back up. This is a case that we've seen take many turns. What do you make of this, Tori, especially knowing your legal background?
Yeah, there's whiplash involved here. Very simply, in my opinion, I'm speculating here, something happened with the prosecutorial case that completely collapsed. A piece of evidence wasn't either gathered correctly, or they couldn't use it, or it was inadmissible, or it didn't show up to be right. They dropped it completely. He forfeited his bond voluntarily. This is a win for him and not a win for Chicago PD. I wish it were, but this looks like the prosecutor.
Well, we just want the truth to come out.
Right, exactly.
Whatever it may be, we want the truth to come out. Now, I did look at the details, and they said they will not disclose whether or not they have new information.
Right.
So we don't know if there's new information that may exonerate him. We don't know if it's just, as you stated, I can't use the legal jargon, but the prosecutorial. Got it. Okay.
The thing has been messy on both sides. Let's be honest. I mean, from his side with the different lies and the way it was set up and the shadiness involved with it, but also with the way the Chicago PD handled it. I mean, Tori, you said it yourself when Superintendent Eddie Johnson went on, I believe it was Good Morning America or some media outlet. You said you've never seen that before.
A little too soon?
There's a lot of leaks.
It not only leaks, Brandon's right, it also taints the jury pool. It taints a lot of things. I've never seen a superintendent come out so strongly so fast.
He was also trying to protect the city of Chicago
and
the tourism. What are you thinking about all of this, Bo?
Well, I know he's furious. I know Eddie Johnson is furious they didn't tell him. I think the key to this, Kim Foxx. Remember the name Kim Foxx? Kim Foxx is she's the state attorney. She was contacted by Michelle Obama's chief of staff, and she gave her the number to contact her relative, saying there were some concerns about the probe. Kim Foxx recused herself. Then she went to the Oscars. There's some concerns there. And also remember this.
How does this relate?
Hold on.
Wait. I'm
playing conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't understand how that relates to Jussie Smollett.
Because she's the key. She can drop the charges.
So
she may know. She could be connected to this in a way we don't even know.
Do you think that's a little?
Nope.
Right now we're being speculative, including yourself. But at the same token, I'd like to kind of bow away a little bit because I don't know what the truth is.
He didn't say he was innocent. Neither did the court today. He said he is not innocent.
But he's not that big of a. He's not that big of a star for her to come in there and drop the charges.
That's not R. Kelly.
That's not.
One at a time.
Brennan's turn. That's not R. Kelly. We're not talking about that big of a star. A guy making 65 grand.
You think he's completely telling the truth?
Can I finish?
You may finish. You may finish.
A guy that's making 65 grand an episode. He's not that big of a star for a prosecutor to come in there and risk her job, risk her entire career over Jussie Smollett.
But you
Why
believe
are you playing
so?
a conspiracy game?
But you believe so.
There's a federal charge out there on the letter that the FBI can investigate, and I would recommend Bill Barr look into this. I think it's very important that the DOJ looks into this because there's more than we know.
You think something fishy is going on?
Absolutely.
And I just want to see the truth.
Absolutely.
Whatever you're conspiring about, I want to make sure to find out if that's the truth.
It's just, I'm just telling you what's on the board right now. Well, then you think he's innocent?
I don't know what he is. They just dropped the charges.
Defending him.
They just dropped the charges. I'm going by our legal system.
Do you think he's 100% accurate?
I'm going by our legal system.
No, this is Brandon talking. Do you think he's innocent?
He doesn't. How does he know?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Okay,
the information hasn't been leaked to me yet.
That's okay.
Information hasn't been leaked to me yet.
I think we should all wait and see. This is definitely a case that, as we stated earlier, has taken many turns. many of them. So I wouldn't rule out what Bo is saying, to be honest with you. I wouldn't rule out what...
He's been right about a lot of stuff
I wouldn't rule out what anybody is saying at this point.
Sure.
Let's just wait and see. Right now, we are learning, or we're hearing, actually, from lawyer Michael Avenatti after he was charged with trying to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Let's get to Kelly Schuberth with the latest.
Sam, Michael Avenatti has been released on $300,000 bond, and we're learning if he's convicted of all charges, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But right now, Sam, Avenatti says Nike is just trying to divert attention from their own crimes. Listen.
I will never stop fighting that good fight. I am highly confident that when all of the evidence is laid bare in connection with these cases, when it is all known, when due process occurs, that I will be fully exonerated and justice will be done.
And Sam, we're learning another celebrity lawyer could be tangled up in the case. Mark Geragos has been fired as a CNN legal contributor after multiple news outlets reported that he's the unnamed co-conspirator mentioned in the criminal complaint with Avenatti. Now, Geragos has represented people like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Colin Kaepernick, and as you just heard, Jussie Smollett. Now, Sam, this story just keeps developing. I'll keep you updated.
You know,
wow.
You know who separated very early from Avenatti, which is interesting. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but Stormy Daniels came out and was like, said, I broke off because I knew or heard of some of this corruption and wanted to separate myself completely. And when Stormy Daniels is saying that's corrupt, that's a sign. I think this goes really deep for Avenatti.
And apparently, I think, Tori, he's on record even within these Nike recordings as saying something like 90% of what we say is BS.
Yeah, by the way, it was a complete sting, right? So everything's recorded. I think he said some really inflammatory
He's just a sham in a suit, isn't he?
Well, I think a lot of people have major issues with how showy and grandstanding he is.
So do you think Mark Geragos,
yeah.
do you think that he could be the mole in this, since he's only labeled as the co-conspirator?
Hey,
he hasn't been charged.
The fact, though, that CNN has let him go, I think that there's some additional details that we're not aware of. I don't think this looks good for Avenatti, and I don't think this looks good for, personally, for Mark Geragos. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Just me speculating.
But I do
doing
think,
a lot of speculating.
Yeah,
today.
we're all speculating today. But Geragos, I do think not being charged might be interesting as a witness, maybe getting some immunity. He's a smart lawyer. Think about that.
We can all agree that Avenatti needs to just get out of the limelight.
Just slink away into some kind of cave.
Get out of the. We can agree with that, right, Bo?
Yeah, creepy porn lawyer needs to go.
Okay. Big news breaking right now for talk show host Wendy Williams. Her husband, Kevin Hunter, has reportedly had a baby with his rumored longtime mistress yesterday. We have put our own sources on the story who say the baby's name is Journey. Wendy recently revealed she has been living in a sober living house. And check out this photo of Wendy taken yesterday. Do you see what's not on her finger? She's not wearing her wedding ring outside her sober living facility. After more than 20 years of marriage, Wendy has not yet responded to reports about the love child, but we'll let you know the minute she does, because Wendy is someone that has been very transparent, very open, not saying that she has to. She doesn't owe that to anybody. This is something that she's going through privately. I feel for her in many ways, but most importantly, she's worried about her sobriety. This cannot be a good thing for her sobriety. But how does the public deal with, or how do you be private when you're so public?
I think what she's doing is correct, staying very scheduled and away from as much as she can from the show. Again, a driver picks her up, takes her to Pilates privately, 2 hours she spends exercising, goes directly to the sober house, has a 10 p.m. curfew. I can't imagine what she's going through right now, because this is all speculation, but it's everywhere, that her husband has just been a terrible force in her life. I mean, this has sort of been an ongoing problem. So if she's really serious about sobriety, as you know, you get rid of people in your life that don't contribute to your health. Maybe this is one of them.
Right now, she's doing a good job of trying to stay on top of this. I guess everyone knew that this was going to blow up. I mean, people have been talking about this side chick, alleged side chick, for about 10 plus years now. I know the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne was talking about it, and people, I encourage you to go look at that interview as well. But Matt, you're trying to get through something.
I can't imagine.
I think she
has to stay away from the tabloids.
She needs all the support in the world right now. And you know what, Wendy? I know that you consider your fans your family. We love you. We are supporting you, and you will get through this.
Amen.
There is another big-name brand coming to your TV set. Apple unveiled its streaming service, Apple TV Plus, yesterday with Hollywood heavyweights like Steven Spielberg, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Ron Howard, Jason Momoa, and more. Watch.
Imagine if you were this person, and imagine if you lived in that world. got to find the cast of your dreams.
For every character that I decide to do, I envision memories for them. It just sort of disappeared into this fantasy world.
So then you have to think, well, how are you going to shoot this thing? Because you're not going to shoot a movie chronologically. So you're often starting the movie shooting the most dramatic, most painful, most agonizing scene first.
Apple TV Plus is now the home to over $1 billion worth of new programming, but it's joining a very crowded field as Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu already dominate streaming. Plus, other newcomers are expected to join, just like Disney. But DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. Do you like your traditional cable, or have you cut the cord and switched to a streaming service? Go to dblvote.com, weigh in.
I have a quick question for you guys. Just seeing that, does that feel like it's skewing pretty old? There was no younger generation there at all represented. Did that make sense?
They must know their numbers, though.
Yeah.
Apple, of all
that
people,
demo must be older.
Apple understands exactly who's streaming. Perhaps they're not going after that millennial Netflix.
It didn't seem like anybody.
I'm surprised to see Spielberg there, who just criticized streaming being eligible for awards like the Academy Awards.
What do I always say? Follow the money.
Yes.
Someone from Apple was probably like, hey, Steven, here goes this check. I need you to get up in this commercial, this promo, and cut all that nonsense
Well, I'm sure he's involved somehow.
But cord cutting and streaming has now been a trend. We are Americans. We're all about trends. And you even said that.
I've not cut the cord yet.
You haven't? Well, we're doing this today, right now. Don't mess up my notes.
Okay, so stay right here. Okay, I will not mess up your notes. This will be me this weekend. I'm going to put my husband on it because I'm not very good at stuff like this.
Can we get a round of applause for that, please? Welcome to 2019.
The cord is cut, everybody. The cord is cut. Have you cut the cord?
No, not yet. Well, you know, I like the idea of the a la carte component of it.
Yeah.
That was
Talk
raised
about
to me.
that.
Well, don't tell me. I'm not the expert on it. Maybe Tori can explain.
Well, it's really interesting. So they're having no old programming. It's all new stuff. You can't watch old Hollywood at all. You can also start picking what you want to pick, which is what everybody wants.
So I can pick my Bravo.
Your HBO, you know, you can pick those things, and you have to pay for certain
Mom,
more.
are you listening to Tori? Please listen.
So think about a la carte, maybe Daily Blast Live. You want to make sure you're watching.
Oh, you got to make sure that Daily Blast Live's included. Yeah.
That's right, because the TV tracker Nielsen said that the average cable subscriber is subscribed to 200 channels.
Nobody watches
You only uses about 20.
You only use about 20.
And now,
according to Nielsen.
And that's what I've always hated about like Comcast and those others, because you get 200 channels, you don't use 200.
Exactly. I cut the cord, DirecTV Now, or look into Xfinity apps, things like that. Really saved me hundreds of dollars.
I can't wait. I want to save some money. Let's see what our DBL Nation says. 79%.
Look what they said, Dan.
Streaming now.
Yeah.
And we're involved in that. So,
Lori Loughlin is off the Hallmark, so why do I need the Hallmark channel?
True. All right, DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, a fascinating story about a former pastor with Alzheimer's. Find out why his family is absolutely sure his faith is still strong. Then, near, far, wherever you are. That was my Titanic take on a team.
Oh, that one.
You won't want to miss this hilarious video. And if you understand what I just said, or sang rather, you'll understand what this Martha Stewart and Snoop song is about. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Pediatricians are pushing for a soda tax to discourage sugary drinks for kids. So DBL Nation, are you for a tax, or should the government stay out of it? We'll share your comments next.
Hey DBL Nation, Kelly Schubert with the DBL digital team here. I have been thinking about cutting the cord for some time now. I'm gonna do it this week. I'm calling Comcast. Let's go see what's going on at the table. Hey Tor, what's happening?
Is that true?
Oh, should I bring it up or no?
No.
Okay, so
You had to have a Rosen or a Stein to be a good lawyer. Combine your name.
Are we cutting the cord?
Wow, we're using props. This is great. I do use props. I cut the cord now. I don't have DirecTV. I have DirecTV Now, and you don't need the satellite, and you can do a la carte. And I know Xfinity app, you get to pick up to 20 channels.
Yep.
So things like that just make more sense in this niche world of like, I watch murder shows exclusively, documentaries about murder.
So explain the difference in like, okay, so if you're going to go, most, let's say Comcast packages would be like $100 or
Yeah,
more.
150, yeah.
You know, and you get X amount of channels. So
Yeah.
explain what you could save by doing what you're doing.
So mine, I think, is $50 a month. Some are like 37, like the Xfinity app. And all you do is buy the app. It's like $6.99 a month, and then you a la carte your 20 programs that you want to watch. You can live stream. You
So
can
for
stream it.
how much?
It's $6.99 for the app,
Yeah.
and then you have to pay for either the Xfinity or DirecTV Now service.
And what I do
But
as
it's
well.
way less than $150.
A lot of our DBL Nation watches us on YouTube, so there's also YouTube TV.
Yeah.
I pay $40 a month, and you get more than 50 channels. You get the ABCs, CBS's,
the Foxes. And you can live watch.
And then you can also get ESPN, FX, Bravo, and you can go back and watch that as well. What I also have is HBO Go.
That's how I have HBO
so
Go.
that's how I watch my HBO shows, and then I have Netflix, and then bam,
you just kind of a la carte it. Yeah.
It's all under $60 a month.
I will say I look between DirecTV Now and YouTube TV. Those are two really good ones to look at.
And YouTube TV is going to continue to add more channels.
But I think Apple, and I don't know what, it didn't feel special, like that Oprah, Jennifer, it felt like...
But they didn't give you, they said purposely that they didn't give out pricing, they didn't give out what some of the shows are going to be called.
Like, I think you should have had some really young, I don't know, it felt a little old.
Who would you put in it?
That's what I was wondering. What do you guys think?
But most kids, most millennials have iPhones.
So why is Apple TV giving us 6-year-olds?
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. And today, that's a soda tax. Pediatricians are now calling for a tax on sugary drinks because they are so bad for kids, causing problems like diabetes, obesity, and tooth decay. And kids do drink a lot of sugary drinks, 30 gallons a year. That's a full bathtub. But the companies that make the drinks say a tax would cause huge layoffs and that the government shouldn't be involved in regulating what people drink. So DBL Nation, what do you think? Do you support a soda tax? What is going on with the cameras? Or should the government stay out of it? Let's get right to your comments.
Someone had a lot of sugar.
I know.
All right, Lauren from Facebook.
A little dizzy here.
How will taxing cheap addictive drinks stop people from drinking them? People still smoke, even though taxes have tripled the price of packs. We're talking. Lauren, I agree with that. People are going to do what they want to do, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about kids, I remember back when I played Pop Warner football many moons ago, and the parent will have to come in with certain, snacks and drinks. It'd be Capri Suns. I love the oranges. Sunny D's, Huggies, the little Huggy things.
Capri Sun.
Even Gatorade are just high in sugar, and it's giving people with me who have diabetes in our family, it's putting kids at risk at an early age.
Not to mention the cavities.
Not to mention the cavities, which I had a lot of as a kid. So it's costing these parents a lot of money, so why not tax them and go to a more healthy alternative?
Interesting. Amy says, my kids beg for soda all the time. Do they get them? No. It's called making good choices. Amy, I like you. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm really okay with it. When I lived in New York, cigarettes and taxes, it was like $15 to get one, and I knew people who couldn't afford and wouldn't do it, and it did cut down in their smoking. I've seen it work.
Boom.
I'm for this.
All right.
Deb on Facebook says, when I was a kid, we got one small cup of soda on Sunday night while watching Ed Sullivan. The rest of the time, we got milk or water.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
Well, that's good, but it does show parental choice. I mean, I think that's the point. I mean, some people say this is unconstitutional, unfairly targets one industry, that'll lead to layoffs. And I believe in consumer choice. I also believe in parental guidance and making smart decisions. I don't think do you think it necessarily targets the poor because the drinks are cheaper?
No, I just think consumer choice is fine. If you raise it, it's your choice to pay more. Yeah. I think it's still within that consumer choice.
Let's get Brent in real quick. Brent writes, tax is not, I repeat, not the answer. I'm guilty of giving my kids too much sugar in the past, but you can always change habits. The word no will not harm your child. I think most important here is education. Yeah. More so than taxing, even though I think this is a good idea. I'm with you, Tori, but I do see what Bo's bringing up. You got to educate people how to read the ingredients, because just because something is marketed as organic and it has like a very healthy looking packaging, look at those ingredients. If the first ingredient, second ingredient, third ingredient is sugar, which many of those juice boxes are, guess what? Your kid's consuming sugar.
Yeah. Wasn't in New York, Tori, the Bloomberg tax supposed to be on the big
jumbo
64-ounce
cup?
soda?
Yeah, exactly.
Did it work? Or?
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Some data supports it. Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are back together. Raquel Villanueva has news at the moment.
Well, Sam, our hearts will go on for Martha and Snoop because they just recreated one of Titanic's most iconic scenes, all to promote their new show. Now watch this.
Open your eyes.
He is frying. Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge debuts April 3rd on VH1.
These two. I can't get enough of these two.
She bugs me.
Does she bug?
She just comes off insincere to me. I love me some Snoop. I like that they have that partnership together, but I don't buy. I think she's doing it for the wrong reason.
I think you're not alone in your opinion.
All right.
Why did they partner up?
I think it's to help her image.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it.
Bingo.
She was in jail.
But how does it help Snoop's image?
I don't know.
Whatever Snoop
Where
touches,
is he getting out?
Yes, or green.
I was going to say or green. Yeah.
Coming up on DBL, we'll meet a man who doesn't remember his family but still has an amazing ability that inspires other people. You won't want to miss this heartwarming story, and that is right after this.
Says I can't keep up with all the shows on NBC, Netflix, and all the Hulu shows. It's all too much. I am in what we call Netflix or streaming fatigue. I don't know if you've had it, Dre, when you just scrolling and you've just like lost 20 minutes of your life because you don't know what you're doing with your life.
I did that a lot this week.
Yeah, I still love my cable and Netflix, says Naomi. I love my DirecTV, but only reason we have it is Sunday Ticket. A lot of people are writing in about Jussie. Jussie may be a free man, but I don't think he'll ever get the love after what he did, says Kyle Baxter. You followed the Jussie Smollett case, and we had a big moment with you as well. How do you feel about all this?
I don't know. I kind of feel like good for him for being like out and being open about everything, and like his innocence has been cleared to an extent. I guess.
Way, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
it's a little confusing.
It is. I don't feel like I don't know the full story behind it, so that's where I am confused.
Yeah, I have to be honest.
At the same time, with cable and whatnot, I feel like cable's a waste of time, to be completely honest. If you work full time and you're paying $100 and something a month for watching 4 shows,
you can
you
figure
should
out
cut
about
it.
But explain. People don't know what that means. What do you have in place?
So I have Hulu and Netflix. So
and that's all you need.
That's all you need for me. That's all I need typically. I don't watch a whole lot of regular TV shows. Now, occasionally you gotta download RuPaul Drag Race through Amazon Prime. But you can get select shows wherever you want. You should try and figure it out.
So if you have questions about that, let me know because it seems confusing. Let me know. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about one of my favorite topics, faith. Watch how a man is using the Word of God to keep him going through the fight of his life. This former pastor with Alzheimer's finds clarity in preaching. Jim Green spent his life as a pastor and missionary. In his old age, he developed Alzheimer's, which has stolen most of his memories from him.
It's pretty full-blown.
But despite his condition, he still retains his ability to preach the Word of God.
Well, I've learned that with God, there is no getting even.
For his family, it's painful to see the man they knew slip away. But the lessons he preached and still preaches keep them going.
The faith that we learned from him is what is sustaining us now as he goes through this.
Even though his memories continue to fade, Jim's faith is still as strong as ever.
Even in the midst of the Alzheimer's and all that it does to you, he still has that deep love for God's Word and for sharing it.
Absolutely beautiful. We will be right back.
Welcome back to Double Jump, where we talk the latest in gaming, tech, and pop culture news. Today we're here to review Jordan Peele's Us, which is about a family vacation that turns upside down when they're attacked by doppelgangers. Alex, I'm gonna go to you first. Let me know the good, the bad, the great, and the ugly about this movie. What did you think?
Well, the bad and the ugly are difficult for me on this one because I don't really think there are any.
Right.
But on the good front and the great front, I really do think the acting stands out in this movie. Like we already told you, and this is not a spoiler, it's about a family and it's about clones. So clearly actors are kind of double rolling in this one, but you really can't tell at all. Like, that's how phenomenal they do.
Yeah, being able to flip upside down in the exact same scene, like, and become the opposite of what your character was coming into the movie was absolutely brilliant on every single actor's part and actress's part.
It's unquestionably amazing on that front. You know, another great part of it is the music. You can tell from the trailer the music plays a big role in it, and it's a really creative choice.
The music is wonderful. I mean, who would have thought 5 on it, slowed down, would actually be a scary track. It set quite a creepy tone for the entire movie, and they used a lot of popular music. I mean, you got some NWA in there, some Beach Boys in there, which apparently they're better than the Beatles, but that's a debate for another day. But aside from those things, I just think Jordan Peele has a way with storytelling. I mean, he is very unpredictable in that you can't predict the twists in these stories. Just like Get Out, you really, really don't know what's going to happen until you get far into the movie.
Right.
But Alex, I'm going to ask your recommendation for this. Should they wait for theaters, rent on Redbox, or not see it at all?
Get a group of friends, get a group of all the friends you have, and go to the theater. You have to see this one in the theater.
Yes, get a group of friends. See this one in theaters, and we'll see you next time on Double Jump.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
All right, this is about Jussie. Dolores says, told you all. Love Beauty says, good for Jussie. And Quasi says, he must have been telling the truth if all charges are dropped.
Well, we don't know all the details.
Yeah, I just want to make clear this. I just want to make this clear in the last 30 seconds. We know very little. It could have been a very small transactional error with the police that
or they could have new information.
Or he
we
could
don't
be completely
know.
innocent. But don't think because of this, all charges are dropped, that he's innocent. Let's just take it one day at a time.
And this is just into the Chicago Police Union is demanding a federal investigation of Kim Foxx's handling of this, so it's definitely not over.
Yeah, we got to follow the details.
Interesting.
Well, we will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a happy Tuesday, everybody. Stay safe out there. Bye, guys.